me in St. Louis.
If you've been following along with me, you know that I love taking my sourdough starter Breadhemoth with me on my travels. And when we go to new places, we often try to pick up different pastries or sourdough itself to merge with the starter. So on today's voyage, I decided to culture my sourdough starter by taking him to St. Louis. A major attraction to St. Louis is Forest Park, and Forest Park was the location of the St. Louis World's Fair. But the only building left from that is the Art Museum, which we'll get to in just a bit. But first, we decided to stop at the zoo. I had to speed run through the zoo as to not miss my other attractions, but it has a lot going on here, and I highly recommend visiting it, especially if you love animals. My favorite thing in the zoo were definitely these polar bears. I mean, look how cute they are! After the zoo, it was just a short walk to the St. Louis Art Museum. There's also a large statue of St. Louis overlooking the Emerson Grand Basin Fountain, which we'll get to after we go to the art museum. And now we have St. Louis Art Museum, starring Fruits Basket, Industry, Too Inappropriate to Show, What My Soul Feels Like, Water Lilies by Monet, 2-Year-Old with a Crayon. Why do I relate to this? This is actually really nice. Nun Unlocking Her Third Eye, Homegirl Praying for a Better Economy, Realizing the American Dream is Dead, and London. Followed up by some ancient artifacts, which were from various cultures including Rome, Greece, and some Nephilim artifacts. They also had an Egyptian section which had 2 mummies, one of which had its toes exposed. That's kind of weird. It was wrapped in paper that had writing all over it, which was kind of neat, probably sealing something inside. But on our way out, we got to see some artwork by a German painter inspired by the Kabbalah. And then we went down the hill to the fountain, which was probably the highlight of the whole park. I would come here every day if I lived in St. Louis, but I don't live in St. Louis. Since there was a lot of culture we experienced in this trip, I am breaking it into 2 parts, so I'll see you in part 2.